Tell us, start off with inflation for us. Why is this number climbing again?
I guess the climb is marginal, but it's always expected because remember we're just coming out of election in September, and then there was an expectation from the various stakeholders as to what was going to happen. And then also the seasonal factors which normally affect inflation have been largely due to food production, and we're just starting the maize marketing. So we expect that that should be moderated by crop marketing, which is started on the 1st of June.
Because many analysts still expect... Yes, you're talking about the expectation. Many analysts expect inflation to slow down by the end of the next month because even food prices are coming down.
That's correct.
Yes,
that's a general expectation.
That is a general expectation. Let us talk about
yes.
the target, at least, therefore, the central bank appears likely to keep it within that 7% range, do you think?
Yes.
Excellent. The interest rate, the benchmark interest rate is likely to stay at 9% as well. That number is not out yet, but would you agree 9% is a good place to have it?
I mean, the expectation generally is that the interest rate should be trending down because there's always been that expectation that the banks and the other lending institutions should increase lending to the small and medium enterprises and generally to the economy so as to boost up the economy. So I do not expect that the policy rate should be going up since it's a reference rate. And also with the expectation that inflation is still under control. So that is moderated, and that's why we don't see a likelihood of an increase in the policy rate.
Fair enough. Actually, the number is out. The central bank, like we said earlier, kept the benchmark rate at 9.0%. But there's also the developments right now, one of which is the rebasing of the currency and the de-dollarization of the economy. And I don't know if this is having any huge impact, and indeed what the economy is, how the economy is responding to this.
Obviously, the issue relating to rebasing is something that we are all looking forward to because of the expectation that it helps to improve the economy and the perception that the investors have since inflation is under control and it has been relatively stable for a long, long time. I guess the issue that has been somewhat challenging for us has been the recent instruments, which has the use of the US dollar and other foreign currencies for local transactions. That was quite unnerving for most of the operators because it was not very clear to how it was going to be affected. A lot of people were beginning to think that it's a reintroduction of foreign exchange controls. But the central bank has been trying to clarify that and trying to reaffirm the fact that there are no exchange controls. Instead, what they're just trying to do is to promote the use of the local currency for domestic transactions.
So now that that has been declared that it is in fact not forex controls and it is just to try and have a better lead on things, do you think this has calmed the markets effectively and there should be no major impact?
I would expect that the business community should now begin to just digest and implement the new requirements where they have issues that require clarification. They should seek that clarification from the central bank.
All right.
And ultimately that should help in settling the investors and the business community.
David, what do you consider the biggest risks right now, whether upside or downside onto that inflation and indeed the economic projections?
The biggest risk, I think it's really the political risk because the people need to believe what the government is saying.
Succinct enough, David.
I think that's one of the biggest ones because remember there's always been this feeling that maybe reintroducing controls and they've come out to say they're not reintroducing that. So we need to manage that political risk in terms of ensuring that we are consistent in the policies.
All right, David Chewe, succinct enough for us in Lusaka, in Zambia for us. We appreciate your time.